Hey everybody, hope and pray that you're doing well. Today as we come to our word from the Word. And today that word is stand. Stand. I always love how the Lord works out things and just in conversations that have come up. And I was just recently having a conversation just within the last few days about this very passage that we're going to look at today. Proverbs chapter 3. And just to look at verses 5 and 6, and we'll just read it first and then we'll jump right in today. It says, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Now, first, the reason I picked that word stand today is I know when it says lean, and we're not talking about a physical leaning, but at the same time, I think that would help us to visualize that we don't lean on our own understanding. We're not putting the pressure on our own understanding. We're not being supported by our own understanding. We are standing on the Word of God. We are standing on the wisdom of God, standing on the foundation of Jesus Christ. So as he's talking about all this gaining knowledge and wisdom, as we've been talking about all week, and that's what Solomon's laid out, has been leading up to this point. He says, look, don't lean on your own understanding. And as I was having this conversation just a few days ago, it was just that phrase. So the gentleman said, this is what we just say around the house, say with the kids, you get into a situation, you just say, lean not. And that was enough to trigger that memory of the verse that says, lean not on your own understanding. But then you have to keep going, because in all your ways acknowledge him. Not just some of the ways, but in all your ways acknowledge him. And I think that's where we usually fall short. We'll lean on him, right? We'll stand on the Word of God when it's easy. When it's a situation that there's no way we could have any control over it anyway. The problem is when we get a lot of times to the simple things that we think that we can handle on our own, and those are the exact situations that cause us to fall. That's why pride goes right before a fall, because we get prideful thinking that we can handle it, and we don't. We fail. No wonder he says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in the Lord with everything that you have. I often use the example of, just even the trust and faith it takes to sit in a chair, right? And if you sit in the same chair every day, right, you have become accustomed to knowing that it would hold you up. And you don't examine it to see if it can hold you up. It's held you up before. You have faith that it will continue to hold you up. No matter what was going on in the day, no matter what time of day it was, you knew that it could hold you up. And that's the same way if you think about that. Now, your chair may fall apart today. And I was even teaching this to a group of young people one time as youth pastor, and the stool I was sitting on was like falling apart as I said those things. It was great example and illustration and great memory. But here's the thing, the physical chairs may fall and they may fail. But when we put all our faith and trust in God, he's held us up before. Why would he not hold us up today? And I'm going to tell you, God's not going to break. He's not going to fail all of a sudden. I always say, think about it. You're not important enough for God to change his whole being based on you. Right? In other words, if he promised something to you, he's going to continue to fulfill that promise. If you could trust him yesterday, you can trust him today. You can trust him tomorrow. Trust in him with everything. Lean not on your own understanding. In other words, stand on him. Stand on him. But see, that wasn't the end of what we read. Then it says, and he shall direct your path. See, the only way that we can walk is if we're standing. See, no matter if you're sitting down, you've still got to stand up to begin to take a walk. But if we're leaning in our own understanding and that gets us to fall down or gets us off the path or causes us to stumble, now he can't direct our path because we're not walking. But what we need to do is stand on the Word of God. Stand in the wisdom and understanding that we're seeking and searching for, we talked about yesterday. And then as we're doing that, that's not going to be the end. God's not going to just say, well, I'm so glad that you stood on my word. That's it. That's all I need you to do. Just stand there. Yes, there are times where he says, be still and know that I'm God. But in the context of what we're talking about, what he's going to say is, now take a step in faith. Now take a step to learn more. Don't worry. You don't take a step alone. You're not taking a misguided step. You're not taking a step in the dark. You're taking a step in faith. Will you trust Him today? Will you trust Him with everything that you have? Will you lean not? And will you simply stand and then step by faith? God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.